Hi everyone, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on today's video tutorial I'm so excited to show you how to make these vintage sheet music paper tassels for your Christmas tree. I could also see these being really cute for adding to your Christmas packages or hanging if you have like a pretty piece of furniture that has a knob. You could hang it on there. I'm sure there's lots of other things that you guys can think of. So let me start out first of all by showing you the 3 different styles that I've made, and then I will go through step by step the whole process, and then we will finish up with, I've made a few other projects using some vintage sheet music that I'm just going to show you today real quick. Okay, so the 3 different styles. The first one I made was this. These vintage sheet music tassels are made with champagne corks, okay? And I made this one first, okay? The next one I made was this one. And you can see I left this area up here of the cork showing. And then I put my ribbon and burlap about halfway down on the champagne cork. And then this is the one that I've made the most of. I've probably made 30 of these because they're so quick and easy to make, and they look so cute on my Christmas tree. When I'm done with this, this video tutorial, I will share pictures of my Christmas tree with some of these tassels on it. So if you like these ideas, or my other crafts, which do tend to always be quick, easy, super affordable. They tend to be black and white and neutral because that's the thing I'm obsessed with. And they don't require any artistic ability. So if you like any of the projects that you see on my page, DiyDreaming, tell your friends about it. That would be awesome. I would love it. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go out and you're gonna look for some sheet music. Unless you have a piano player or a violin player or a clarinet or somebody who was in marching band and they're not using their sheet music anymore, then you can just use that. But I don't recommend that you buy it brand new. I recommend that you go to your local thrift store. For me, I have a favorite, Goodwill. And I have purchased many different books of sheet music. Oops, this one's falling apart because I've used it so much. I usually look for the ones that are thicker because you get more in it. And in the beginning I was looking for sheet music that was more yellowed, that was older. But now I find myself more attracted to the wider sheet music. So this one is Modern School for Xylophone, Marimba, and Vibraphone. You can look for violin, piano, I mean, any instrument, okay? And if you have if you're able to find some Christmas sheet music at your local Goodwill, or you have some, don't cut that up, because there's projects that you can do with whole pieces of sheet music, which I'll get to later, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna find a page that you like, and then you're just gonna peel it out of the book. Hey, if you're watching, I can't tell if I'm working or not. If you're watching, give me a thumbs up or a heart, or tell me where you're watching from, and feel free to ask questions, okay? So the first thing I did was I tore out a piece of sheet music. All right, and then what you're gonna do is you can cut 2 strips from one page. Usually I'll pull out 4 or 5 at one time, and I'll do them layered up. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what you ultimately want to get. This is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of sheet music. If you want to write this down, hey Cindy, hey Carmelina, thank you guys for watching. If you want to write this down, the dimension is 4.5 inches. And when you're ready to go, you're just gonna cut like almost all the way up to the top. Can you see? Thin strips. They don't have to be perfect or all exact or even all necessarily straight, okay? So hopefully that gives you some peace about the project. And I'm gonna show you on this one a couple of tips that I've learned as I've done these. Okay, so when you put them on your corks, hey Rebecca, they're not gonna look pretty if they have this rough edge where you've torn them out of the book, or if they just have this white strip of nothing. So before I get started cutting on these, this is 4.5 inches, I always cut that part off. And this is a craft that really, really, really does not have to be perfect. Let me do this one too. Okay, and my favorite little part of the vintage sheet music is this. So don't cut that part off, that looks cute. All right, so now what I will do is I will just cut some strips of it so that I can use it. And make sure that it's right side up, okay? Although your fringes that you put on the inside, they don't really show. You still don't want your music notes upside down. Okay, and you guys can see, seriously, how quick this is. The bigger trick I found, I'll just talk while I'm cutting. The bigger issue for me was finding wine corks, because we don't drink a lot of champagne at my house. I got so lucky, and this is how this project started. I actually found a huge bag of wine corks at my local Goodwill, and I grabbed them. I didn't know at the time what I would be doing with them, but I grabbed them, and they were like, I don't know, $3 or $4 for 25 or 50 of them, I can't remember. But if you're not so fortunate as to find a huge bag of of champagne corks, sorry, let me stop right here. Okay, I tried this craft with wine corks also, and it does not work as well. And that is because wine corks are straight. You're gonna be gluing your little fringe. Hey Christina, oh thank you for sprinkling, I appreciate that. If anyone else wants to sprinkle to your pages, I would love that too. Anyways, you're gonna be gluing the fringe sheet music from right here down. Okay, and with wine corks, they're straight. So it doesn't look as nice. Okay, just a couple more cuts and then we'll be ready to go. My glue gun has been heating up and you guys are gonna be so surprised how easy this is. And if you have not used a glue gun very much ever or recently, I just want, as a former lawyer, I just want to just give you the heads up that I saw on Facebook pictures of somebody who really burned herself with a hot glue gun doing some crafts. So I wouldn't want you to be trying to do this project and get hurt. I really seriously recommend that you purchase a low temperature glue gun. It works just as well as a hot temperature glue gun, and you're still gonna burn yourself a little bit, but it's not gonna hurt as bad. Okay, so I've just looked through the pieces of my, my vintage sheet music that I have. I have 10 here in this stack. And this one right here, I have determined is the prettiest one because it has music all the way through. There's nothing weird on here. And so this one I'm gonna save for last, and this will be the outside of the wine cork, okay? And all the rest of them look pretty darn good. I can't remember for sure how many I used. So we're just gonna kind of play it by ear. I guess it really depends on how fat you want your, I'm gonna move this little sign and hope that y'all have seen it and that if you like this, you'll sprinkle. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put some glue on your little wine cork and you're gonna get started. Okay. And this is basically what it looks like. You can see where I glued it. This is going to turn out to be this one because we're going to cover the top part with the burlap. Can you guys see what I'm saying? Okay, so then you're just going to keep adding glue around the base of the cork. And I want you to notice, that's not hot, but it is sticky, that you're going to kind of pinch, because this is not exactly straight up and down. You're going to kind of pinch and fold. Can you see that little place where I pinched and folded it in? Your paper, otherwise it'll go off down. So right here, for example, I'm just going to smush that in. This will all be covered up and nobody will see it. And this will keep my tassels going straight. I need some more glue. Somebody told me this great hot glue gun tip, and that is to put a little bit of hot glue on the end of the new glue piece before you stick it in. Okay, anyone have any questions so far? All right, I'm gonna keep going. Where are you guys watching from today? I would love to know. And happy day before Thanksgiving to everyone. Okay, this is still just the first piece of sheet music, and you can already see how much is going on here. So I can't remember, maybe I only did about 4 or 5 sheets. It's been a while since I made these, but I've had so many people ask me to show how to do this that I decided today would be a great day to do that. Okay, I'm going to start another piece, and I'm going to put my glue over the seam. And then I'm just gluing, 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 and pulling it around and pinching it in as I go. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now it's starting to go down a little bit. Can you see that? Hey Miranda, hey Jean, Easy Texas. Where is that? I've never heard of that. Tell me. And you can see you don't have to be super precise about how you put your glue on. This is what I love about crafting is just if you can get over the need to have everything be perfect, then you can really enjoy yourself. This is 2 pieces of the fringed up sheet music, okay? I'm going to add 2 more, and then I might say that 4 is enough. And so since I may only be doing 4, I'm going to choose my prettiest pieces. Okay, maybe you're wondering what's the difference between a pretty piece and a not pretty piece. Let me show you. Like this would be an inside piece right here versus this. I would not want this on the outside. Do you guys see what I mean? One of the things I really like to share on my videos is the mistakes that I've learned along the way. And I did one like that. I wasn't paying attention to what was on it, and it did not turn out pretty. I know this is boring, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm almost to the point where it gets exciting. So what I was saying about champagne corks, if you don't tend to drink a lot of champagne in your house, you could ask your friends and family if they have any leftover champagne corks. You could, if you have any connections in any bars or restaurants, you could ask them as well. Hey Jean, another Jean, a different Jean, first time watching live. I'm from snowy Iowa today. Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in the suburbs. I'm in Alpharetta, which is north of the city. And it's supposed to be like 60 degrees today, which maybe that sounds nice, but I would rather have some snow actually. Okay, I'm going to show you a tip in just a second. The last piece that I'm going to glue on has these pretty little things on it. So be gluing your fringed sheet music on in the direction that will allow you to have that piece showing. Does anyone have any questions? Janet, hey Janet, you can go back to the beginning, and I would recommend that you do because I talk about all the basics of this craft. And this is so easy. I don't even remember where I saw the idea, but I had purchased all the sheet music for these banners that I was making, and you can see one right there. And I have pictures all over my Facebook page, DiyDreaming, of other banners. So that's what started me on this kick with vintage sheet music. And then I loved it so much that I must have been looking at Pinterest, or I don't know. I pretty much never come up with original ideas. What I do is I can take an idea or see an idea and make it my own. This seems like it has about the same amount of fringe as the one that I've already done. You can notice the difference. This is wider sheet music than this. And now that I've been making these for a while, I actually find that I prefer that wider look. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do is do you see how, this was the last piece that I glued on right here. You see those little, what are those things called? I wish I knew. I took piano lessons for about 1 year and I hated it. I'm not musical at all. So I didn't stick with it. But if anyone's watching and you know what these little things are called, let me know. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna glue on some burlap. And you can find burlap ribbon all over. This, I actually got about 8 rolls of it at Target. It's called Cleft Notes. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Jean said they had 10 inches last night. Oh, that sounds wonderful. So this is a roll of burlap ribbon that I got in the Target dollar spot for $1, but you can find this kind of ribbon at Hobby Lobby, Walmart, everywhere. And let me measure. It is like 1.5 inches or just a little bit more wide, okay? And I am going to sort of eyeball how big of a piece I want and cut it off. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to start my piece at the seam, okay? And I'm going to start it just with a strip of glue that looks like this. All right? And I'm putting my burlap on so it's flush with the top of the champagne cork. If you like this look better, then you're going to glue it right below the bump. It's just personal preference. Okay, and then I'm going to put my glue in the area where the seams are because I find that you can see through this burlap ribbon a little bit and the glue doesn't look that nice, okay? But it's thicker where the seam is, so that's where I'm putting my glue. I'm excited. Stay to the very end because I have some projects that I was working on yesterday with vintage sheet music that I'm going to show you. Okay, now when you get around to the last part of it, because this wasn't straight, you're going to find that you have an extra strip. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off. So it's pretty close. A friend of mine was telling me that you can get these little finger protector things for when you're hot gluing. And I definitely need to look into that. But, okay, so this is what I have so far. And this is what my seam looks like. And I did mine flush to the top, okay? It's not perfect, but these don't need to be. And notice that my fringe is not all exactly the same length. but it doesn't need to be either. So don't insist on perfection. Instead, enjoy what you're doing. Okay, the next step is to choose what ribbon I want to put around the middle of it. And since I'm a black and white girl, I have been using black and white ribbon. This is kind of cute. This is that rickrack stuff. And you can get tons of great ribbon at Hobby Lobby. I think today I'm going to use this one. I have oodles amounts of the black and white check. So I'm just going to eyeball that, cut off a piece. We're almost finished. I'm going to show you how to put the holder in the top, and then I'll show you these other projects that I've done too. I'm going to start at the seam and put a little blob about in the center. Okay, and then I'm just going to run a small bead of glue around the middle. You guys, mostly for my crafts, I don't have you watch every step of the process, because when you're using a stencil or something or painting something, that's not complicated and you can't make a ton of mistakes. But so that's the reason why I showed you every step of this, because I mean, there are things that you can do to make your project better. So don't feel like every video I do is going to be long and boring like this one. Okay, so when I get off the video, then I will go and pull all of the strings off of my little tassel. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to need some of these. I bought these, I think, at Lowe's, and it's just a hook assortment. And these are copper, which I think looks, I had some silver ones too, and I think the copper looks prettier. Where is my piece? It's right here. And I used the small ones, but any size will do you. Okay, this is what it looks like. And I just took some twine and threaded it through my little eye hook and put a knot on it. And then I am basically going to just twist this hook into the center of my champagne cork, which is pretty easy because these are not super hard. You have to push at first, and then it'll go in easy. Okay, and there we go. What do you think? You can whip out, especially if you cut a whole bunch of paper all at once, because now I have 6 pieces of fringe all ready to go for the next one. You can whip these out in a couple minutes a piece. Okay, so hope you like that project. Now let me show you just a couple other things and clean up around myself that I've been working on. So yesterday I was into my glitter, which my husband hates because he says it gets all over everywhere. Oh, Trisha says those are precious. Thank you, Trisha. I really appreciate that. Sometimes I think, do people think I'm weird because I get all excited about making something like this? I don't know. My family kind of thinks I'm weird, and some of our close friends think I'm weird, but other crafters out there know what it's like, how excited you can get about something like that. So anyways, yesterday I just worked on a bunch of things using glitter and vintage sheet music. And I made these. These were a set of 3 of these cute little signs. They had red and black ribbon on them. So of course I yanked that off and hot glued my black and white on them. Then I cut out a piece of sheet music, stenciled it, glued it on, and added some hot glue. This one says love and the other one says peace. And then I made this one. This one I made out of one of those. These were from Walmart. They were like 97 cents a piece. They have ovals, squares, rectangles. The wood was kind of cruddy looking, and I knew that there's a possibility that the back of it would be seen. So I just put one quick coat of a stain on the top of it. And then I hot glued a big piece of sheet music. I stenciled it and I put glitter around the edge, and then I hot glued a handle on it. And then these, I had a whole bunch of these little wooden tags. And so I made these. Same process, glue the paper on, stencil it, add glitter, and I hung those with the twine. And then I didn't make these recently, but I just want to show you for fun. These were pieces of sheet music that I cut out in different shapes, like here are some hearts. And then I was out of stuffing. Connie says she likes the bird. That is my favorite one of all time. That, and I also love the one that says be still and know, because it has some great words in it. And if you've seen my book projects, my book stacks that I made, those are the words that I typically use for that. Okay, so I just cut out some pieces of sheet music, and then I was out of stuffing, and so I just wadded up some grocery bags, stuck them in there, glued my two pieces of vintage sheet music together. I put my whatever little handle I was going to be doing on there. Here's another one, and here's one more. And this was an absolute cinch. So that's pretty much all I have to tell you today. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know what my next project will be. I'm not sure whether I'm going to just take a few days off for the holidays or if I'm going to be crafting and sharing stuff on this page or not. Can't decide. But anyways, I will be back again next time with more DIY craft projects that are quick, because I have a very short attention span, super easy to do. I like things that don't require a ton of pieces. Sometimes Tricia says, love all of these, love the bird also. Thank you, Tricia. And Janet said she loved the tags too. So they're quick and easy. I like projects that sometimes have something a little unusual in them. And if you didn't see this already, yesterday I did a project using a metal hanger from the dry cleaners to create the look of shiplap. So if you didn't see that video, you have to go check that out for sure. So quick, easy, sometimes unusual, super affordable, and don't require any artistic abilities. So that's what I'll be back with next time. Thanks for watching. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you again soon. Bye.